Unethical life pro tip: if the person sitting in front of you on a flight reclines their seat all the way back and leaves you with no room, turn on the aircon above you to full blast and point it at the top of their head. As a tall person, I don't care if someone puts their seat back, but it gets annoying as hell when they keep rocking and banging the seat back and forth all the time. Then it's payback time. Right, I've had people sit in front of me that seem to think they can get an extra few of recline if they mash the seat back and forth really hard. I don't care if you recline, but please don't try to sever my legs at the knee. It sucks if the person in front reclines all the way back, because I can only sleep on a flight if I'm resting my head forward onto my tray table, unless it's business class where you basically get a bed, so they'll usually squash my head when they push it back. I'll cope with it though, because I know they're just trying to get comfortable too. Unless they start rocking back and forth, then I'll just dig my knees into the back of their seat for the rest of the flight, because they clearly have no regard for my comfort, so why should I care about theirs? I miss the days when the person in front of you reclining their seat was the worst part about flying. Something about traveling these days really turns people into rude and inconsiderate beasts. Manners seem to be very lacking, and I'm talking about many ages / colors / creeds. Let's see, some of my peeves. People whacking everyone in the aisle seats with their carry-on bags when boarding. People that will remove their overhead bag with one hand after landing and let it fall on someone's head. People who feel the need to spread their legs as wide as possible to ensure you have the tiniest space available for the entire flight. Non-aisle passengers getting up more than twice during a 3 hours or less flight. Back of seat grabbers. People putting bare feet on your armrest from behind. People in front combing their long hair in your direction. People who comment under their breath if you have more than one beer. Back of plane passengers pushing their way to the front. People who block aisles after flight attendants ask everyone to stay seated to let very tight connection passengers off first. Unethical life pro tip: look up your building's washer / dryer model on eBay and order a key for it. I haven't paid for laundry in years and it cost me $8. Sleep like a baby knowing you're not paying for on-site laundry. Some washers have a maintenance mode, which is basically a menu that lets you change prices. For example, with certain Speed Queen models you have to press the 2 top left buttons at once to open the maintenance menu. Maintenance menu also lets you start the machine without putting money in. You can usually get a manual for free online to figure out how to access your machine's maintenance mode. Or just send an email to the manufacturer saying that you'd like a copy of the manual for your business or whatever. There is, however, a switch inside a panel on the machine that you need to flip before you can even access the maintenance mode, usually only accessible with a screwdriver. I assume this is so that people can't just change prices whenever they want. If your laundry room doesn't have a camera, it should be just a 5-minute job to open the panel and flip the switch. The office manager at my current apartment lives in the same complex with his family, and I'm pretty sure he rigged like 3 washers / dryers to be able to access maintenance mode, so he wouldn't have to pay for laundry. Saw his kid in the laundry room once pressing a bunch of buttons and the machine just starting by itself, which prompted me to do more research on laundry machines. Been saving like $30 per month for the past 2 years. I did this to fix the dryer in our complex. Looked up the error code, found out how to pry it open to remove the sock that kept tripping the sensor. This was after 3 months of complaining to the hoe, and all the maintenance guy did was reset the error code. This reminds me of when in school the teachers would confiscate the phones and put it in those cream-colored filing cabinets with the keyhole on the top corner. I lifted a key from the stick rod of a teacher and kept it, so whenever a cute girl or one of my boys' phones got locked up, I would make someone distract the teacher and I'd swipe the phones and pass them back. High school times were great. Unethical life pro tip: if a relative keeps asking you about having kids, lie that the wife is pregnant. A few months later, tell them there was a miscarriage so they'll feel uncomfortable bringing up the subject again. Alternate route: say that you're trying, but not having any luck. Then engage them in a long and extensive conversation about positions, ovulation timing and cervical mucus. Not to mention basal body temperature. Rectal thermometers work best and have to be super duper precise. Long detailed conversations about trying to find spermicide-free lube and tracking cycles is always a winner. You want to know what our privates get up to? Sure thing. Lament about how you didn't realize anal wouldn't work and how so much time was wasted. How the switch to vaginal left unpleasant UTIs that threw off tracking for a bit. How a low-set uterus means you are really delivering the sperm right up there. If Aunt or Grandma wants to have the baby talk, then let's have the fucking baby talk, you nagging pack of hags. I did this to my aunt. 30 minutes later I got a phone call from my mom crying asking if everything was okay. More hassle than it was worth. Aw, secret blessing, you know your aunt is a gossip now with no real ability to care about your wishes. Mom even learned a lesson that maybe aunt is just sometimes lied to because she is bloody annoying. Gotta always see the upside. Unethical life pro tip: save business cards of people you don't like. If you ever hit a parked car accidentally, just write sorry on the back and leave it on the windshield. Try putting the business card with sorry on the windshield even if you didn't hit the parked car. They'll spend a good amount of time looking for what is wrong with their car. Even better, put it on a car that's already beat up a bit, and the person will be sure they have a new dent, and try their best to seek damages against someone you don't like for damages that don't actually exist. Did this once to some asshat who parked in the middle of 4 spots. Wrote on a sheet of paper sorry for the damage and went back to my car and waited for them to come back out. Never been more entertained watching a guy and his girl circling a truck for 5 minutes. I bought a half dozen of those bright yellow student driver bumper stickers and keep one in my glove box. I've only used one before, but it was so satisfying. It's scary because if the person walks out while you're doing it, then you're in trouble. I also didn't think to stick around and watch the reaction. The guy probably wouldn't have seen it right away anyways. Someone once blocked me in by parking in a no parking zone behind me. Other cars parked in every available spot around me. After executing a perfect 20-point turn, I was able to squeeze out without damaging any surrounding vehicles. I left the dumbass who blocked me in a note saying not a parking spot, sorry for the dent. I've done something similar to this to great effect at my old workplace. I work in a building with a wealth management firm. You see lots of nice cars, very badly parked. I saw an Audi straddling 2 parking spots in the middle of a Canadian winter. That is a dick move. Inexcusable. So, I wrote in Sharpie on a piece of paper sorry for the damage, but maybe don't park like an asshole. A mechanic should be able to fix it pretty quick. Put it under the windshield and walked away. The car did not come back for several months. I left that company before putting my second option into use, seed cones and seeds distributed liberally over his car, particularly in the well between the hood and the windshield, and poured into the weather stripping gaskets along the doors. Sign up for insurance quotes, mortgages, and home buying sites, etc. I learned the hard way when looking for car insurance quotes. Constant emails and calls from insurance providers. My parents learned when they were looking to buy a new house. Must have gotten 20 calls a day from different retailers. Unethical life pro tip: give your kids a bag of coal each for Christmas this year. When they cry, just tell them Santa is wrong and you'll get it sorted. Once the shop's open, buy what they asked for. They will think you are a legend and Santa is a dick. You will also get the presents for half price. Not to mention the coal will only increase in value each year. Don't let this information leak to the mainstream fat cats. Only if you get that clean coal. There's a couple creeks near me that have coal seams in them. Not a big deal to knock some of it loose just with a rock or something. It's the worst shit ever though. Definitely not clean coal. I threw a chunk about the size of a dinner plate and maybe an inch or 2 thick in a campfire once. Holy fuck, it was awful. What looked like crude oil started boiling out of it. It was a nice hot campfire, but it started producing a thick black smoke but also some yellowish smoke. Smelled like burning rotting eggs dipped in swamp ass and then roasted over a campfire. I guarantee anybody within a mile or so got a nice whiff of that. I just realized I wouldn't know where to buy coal. Except for charcoal. I guess that would work. Kids are pretty dumb. Weird, though, that something so ubiquitous is, at the same time, hard to find. This made me LOL. It's so true. Where would one even get coal? I can't recall ever seeing it for sale. Is there a coal store I somehow don't know about? I googled it and, well, yes, actually it is for sale at Tractor Supply. Why am I not at all surprised? That store has a little of everything. There you go. Unethical life pro tip: if you ever get caught sleeping at your desk at work, then say they told me at the blood bank that this would happen when asked for a reason. My boss would just say, Omar commutes 2 hours a day back and forth by train and has a kid and a pregnant wife at home. You're 24 and you're bitching about a little blood being drawn? Edit: for the record, Omar is happy with his job. He's project manager, makes 6 figures and has accumulated a lot of time off. It's an honor working with him. Don't want to make it seem like he's struggling, even though the job does get stressful really fast. Yo boy Omar straight grindin'. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked it, please hit that like button and subscribe. Liking the video really helps. If you have an unethical life pro tip of your own, please let us know in the comments section.